The crystalline spires of Zephyria Prime sparkled like diamonds against the violet sky, their translucent surfaces refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. Inside the Grand Assembly Chamber, High Chancellor Ven watched the holographic display with growing dread, his luminescent skin pulsing with anxiety as hundreds of enemy vessels approached their homeworld. "They've breached the outer defense grid," announced Defense Coordinator Talia, her own bioluminescence dimming with each word. "The Score fleet will reach our atmosphere in less than 30 hours. The assembled council members, floating on their gravity platforms, shared concerned glances. The Zephyrians had spent millennia perfecting the art of healing, their bodies evolving toward pure energy manipulation and away from physical warfare. Their world was renowned across the galaxy for its medical achievements. They had cured diseases that plagued dozens of species, extended lifespans, and even helped other races transcend their physical limitations. But now, that very dedication to peace had left them defenseless against the Score Empire's ruthless expansion. "We cannot match their military might," Ven acknowledged, his voice carrying across the chamber. "But we are not without allies." He gestured to a small, inconspicuous panel embedded in his podium, the emergency quantum beacon, connected directly to Earth's United Defense Fleet. The chamber erupted in whispers. Earth, the Death World. Its inhabitants were legendary among spacefaring races, though few had direct contact with them. Humans were known as warriors evolved from persistent predators, their bodies capable of surviving conditions that would kill most sentient species. They were also the newest members of the Galactic Assembly, having achieved faster-than-light travel just 15 years ago. "Chancellor," protested Council Member Roth, "inviting Deathworlders into our system, the risks dash are far less than certain extinction," Ven interrupted, his tone firm. "The humans have honored every treaty, every trade agreement. Their ships dock at our medical stations, their people seek our healing. They pay fairly and leave peacefully. And now—" He touched the panel, his fingers trembling slightly. "Now we shall see if they honor their promises of protection." The beacon pulsed once, its quantum signal crossing light-years instantaneously. Aboard the UES Hyperion, Commander Aria Thompson was reviewing crew rotation schedules when the alert lit up her console. Her eyes widened as she read the source signature, Zephyria Prime. "Bridge, this is Commander Thompson. Status report." "Ma'am, we're receiving a Priority 1 distress signal from the Zephyrian system," her communications officer responded. "They're under attack by the Score Empire. Over 200 warships approaching their homeworld." Thompson's jaw tightened. The Score were notorious throughout this sector, a species of cybernetically enhanced warriors who believed in advancing their empire through conquest. They stripped conquered worlds of resources and enslaved their populations, incorporating the strongest into their forces and eliminating the rest. "Get me fleet command," she ordered, already moving to the bridge. "And begin battle preparations. I want every ship in Battle Group 7 ready to jump in 15 minutes." The next hour was a blur of activity. The Hyperion's bridge hummed with focused energy as crew members prepared for what would be humanity's first major military intervention on behalf of an alien civilization. Fleet Command's approval came quickly. The Zephyrians were too valuable to lose, both as trading partners and as the galaxy's premier medical researchers. "Battle Group, this is Commander Thompson," she broadcast to her fleet of 12 ships. "You've all read the briefing. The Zephyrians represent the best of what spacefaring civilizations can achieve: healing, cooperation, the advancement of all species. They've saved countless human lives through their medical knowledge. Today, we repay that debt." She paused, looking at the tactical display showing their jump coordinates. "This is also humanity's chance to prove ourselves to the wider galaxy. We're no longer just the strange Deathworlders who emerged from their gravity well a few years ago. Today, we show everyone that Earth stands by its allies." Thompson took her command chair, her voice carrying the weight of the moment. "All ships, execute jump sequence on my mark." We're about to make history. 3, 2, 1, mark. In perfect synchronization, 12 human warships vanished into hyperspace, racing to defend a civilization that had never known war, but was about to witness humanity's mastery of it. The message that would change two civilizations had been sent. Now, as the Score fleet approached and the humans rushed to respond, the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen when healers and warriors joined forces against a common enemy. The human battle fleet emerged from hyperspace in a perfectly coordinated array, their dark hulls stark against the ethereal beauty of Zephyria Prime. Commander Thompson stood at the Hyperion's observation window, taking in the sight of the crystalline world below. Countless spires reached toward the stars, their surfaces shimmering with internal light that matched the natural bioluminescence of their creators. "Ma'am, we're being hailed by the Zephyrian High Council," Lieutenant Park announced from his communications station. "They're requesting permission to send a delegation to the Hyperion." Thompson smiled slightly. Even in crisis, the Zephyrians maintained their diplomatic protocols. "Grant permission and prepare the main conference room. And inform Medical Officer Patel he'll be needed." 20 minutes later, Thompson watched as 3 Zephyrians floated into the conference room, their personal gravity controls allowing them to move with graceful ease despite the ship's artificial gravity. High Chancellor Ven led the group, his translucent form radiating a soft blue glow that pulsed gently with his emotions. "Commander Thompson," Ven began, his melodic voice carrying a note of relief, "your swift response honors us. Though I must admit, seeing your ships..." He hesitated, his glow dimming slightly. "They're rather intimidating, aren't they?" Thompson finished for him. "The Hyperion alone carries enough firepower to level a small continent. But I assure you, Chancellor, every weapon on every ship is under strict control and will be used only to protect your world." Defense Coordinator Talia drifted forward, her own luminescence flickering with curiosity as she studied the tactical displays around the room. "Your vessel's design philosophy is fascinating. They appear to be built around their weapon systems." "Because they are," confirmed Lieutenant Commander Marcus Rodriguez, the Hyperion's tactical officer. "Human ships are constructed with the assumption that we'll need to fight our way out of trouble. But they're also equipped with state-of-the-art medical facilities, which we hope might be useful to you." The third Zephyrian, Science Director Helios, moved closer to examine the holographic display showing the approaching Score fleet. "We have 26 hours before they arrive. Our orbital platforms can be modified to support your ship's power requirements, but our defensive capabilities are limited." Thompson nodded, pulling up a series of tactical projections. "We don't expect you to fight, Director. Your people's expertise lies in healing and protection. That's exactly what we need, your shields and medical technology combined with our offensive capabilities." Over the next several hours, humans and Zephyrians worked together, each bringing their unique perspectives to the coming battle. The Zephyrians were stunned by the humans' casual acceptance of combat, their matter-of-fact discussions of weapons yields and tactical maneuvers. The humans, in turn, were amazed by Zephyrian medical technology. "You're saying you can actually accelerate cellular regeneration during combat?" Medical Officer Patel asked, his eyes wide as he studied the device Helios had brought aboard. "This could revolutionize battlefield medicine. We've never considered its application in warfare," Helios admitted, his glow brightening with academic excitement despite the circumstances. "Our healing technologies were developed to save lives, not to sustain combat." "Sometimes," Thompson interjected, "saving lives requires fighting for them. Which reminds me, Chancellor, we'll need to evacuate your surface cities. The Score will target civilian populations first." Ven's glow pulsed with distress. "Evacuate? But where? Our underground facilities can only house a small percentage of our population." Thompson activated a holographic display of Zephyria's largest moon. "Here. We've analyzed its composition, the crystal caves in the northern hemisphere can be quickly converted into temporary shelters. My engineers are already preparing shield generators. Commander, Talia spoke up, her voice carrying a tremor of fear. You speak of this so calmly. How can your people face such violence with such certainty? Thompson's expression softened. Because this is what humans do best, Coordinator. We protect. We fight so others don't have to. Your people heal the sick and injured across the galaxy. Let us handle those who would do you harm. As if to emphasize her words, a distant flash lit up the viewport. The Hyperion sister ships were destroying incoming Score scout vessels, preventing them from reporting the human fleet's presence. The evacuation should begin immediately, Rodriguez suggested, checking his tactical readings. We've eliminated their scouts, but the main fleet will expect reports soon. When they don't receive them, they'll likely accelerate their approach. Ven's glow stabilized, taking on a more determined hue. Then we must act quickly. Commander Thompson, I hereby grant you full tactical authority over Zephyrian space. Our fate is in your hands. Not just in our hands, Chancellor, Thompson corrected gently. In all of ours. Your people's medical technology, combined with our military strength, gives us advantages the Score can't anticipate. They expect to find helpless healers. Instead, they'll face healers protected by warriors. As the evacuation began, streams of Zephyrian transport ships rising into the violet sky, Thompson watched the tactical display tracking the approaching Score fleet. The enemy would arrive to find something unprecedented: human warships powered by Zephyrian crystals, their crews protected by advanced healing technology, and their weapons guided by the unshakable determination to protect their allies. The next 24 hours would test both civilizations. The Zephyrians would learn that sometimes peace must be defended with force, while the humans would demonstrate that being warriors didn't mean abandoning wisdom and compassion. Together, they prepared to face an enemy that had never encountered such a combination of strength and sophistication. The first signs of the Score fleet's arrival were distortions in the violet sky of Zephyria Prime. Commander Thompson stood on the Hyperion's bridge, watching as hundreds of enemy ships tore their way out of hyperspace. Their vessels were brutal things of sharp angles and exposed weapon arrays, the dark metal hulls bearing the scars of countless battles. Battle stations, Thompson ordered, her voice steady. All ships, execute Formation Delta. Zephyrian Control, activate the crystal arrays. Around the Hyperion, 11 other human warships moved into position. Massive crystals, harvested from Zephiria's moon and modified by their alien allies, pulsed with energy as they amplified the ship's shield systems. The Zephirians might abhor violence, but their mastery of energy manipulation was about to change the nature of space combat. Score Fleet is launching fighters, Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez reported. Reading, over 1,000 small craft. Main fleet is moving to surround the planet. They still think they're facing an undefended world, Thompson smiled grimly. Launch our own fighters. And activate the Zephyrian healing matrices. Throughout the human fleet, pilots climbed into their combat vessels with an extra piece of equipment, crystalline devices that would accelerate their healing and maintain their consciousness even under extreme G-forces. It was the first time Zephyrian medical technology had been adapted for warfare. The first wave of Score fighters streaked towards Zephyria Prime, only to meet a wall of human interceptors. The space between the fleets erupted in chaos as hundreds of small ships engaged in desperate combat. But there was a difference: while Score pilots were forced to break off when damaged, human pilots fought on, their wounds healing almost instantly. Enemy flagship is signaling, Lieutenant Park announced from communications. They're demanding to know who dares interfere with their conquest. Show them, Thompson commanded. The Hyperion's main screen lit up with the image of a Score commander, a massive figure of cybernetically enhanced muscle and armor. His organic eye widened at the sight of Thompson. Humans, he growled, mechanical implants whirring. The Deathworlders dare to challenge the Score Empire? This is Commander Aria Thompson of the United Earth Defense Fleet, she responded calmly. The Zephyrians are under our protection. Withdraw your forces or be destroyed. The Score commander's laugh was like grinding metal. You protect weaklings with your handful of ships? We are the Score. We have conquered 50 systems. And we are humanity, Thompson replied. We have never lost a war in space. You would be an interesting first, if you insist on finding out why. The Score's response was predictable, a full assault launched against the human battle line. What wasn't predictable was what happened next. As Score weapons fire struck the human ships, their crystal-enhanced shields didn't just absorb the energy, they redirected it. Beams of deadly force curved back toward their sources, turning the Score's own weapons against them. Simultaneously, human gunners, their reaction times enhanced by Zephyrian neural interfaces, landed shots that would have been impossible days ago. Multiple Score ships reporting shield failures, Rodriguez called out. Their targeting systems can't adapt to the crystal deflection patterns. In the space around them, human fighters executed maneuvers that should have torn their pilots apart, the Zephyrian healing matrices keeping them conscious and functioning far beyond normal human limits. The Score, for the first time in their recent history, found themselves facing an enemy that couldn't be overwhelmed by brute force. Enemy fleet is attempting to regroup, Tactical reported. They're pulling back to, wait, picking up massive energy spike from their flagship. Thompson's eyes narrowed as she saw the readings. They're powering up their main gun. Targeting Zephyria Prime directly, trying to spite us with a parting shot. But the humans and Zephyrians had prepared for this too. As the Score weapon prepared to fire, dozens of crystals previously hidden in Zephyria's rings activated. They formed a web of pure energy, catching the massive beam and channeling it through a series of refraction points. Now! Thompson ordered. The trapped energy, amplified by the crystal network, shot back toward the Score fleet in a dozen separate beams. Ships caught in the barrage simply ceased to exist, their atoms scattered across space by their own weaponry. Score fleet is breaking formation, Rodriguez reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Multiple ships entering hyperspace. They're running. The battle wasn't over, dozens of Score ships fought on, their commanders too proud or too cybernetically controlled to retreat. But the outcome was no longer in doubt. The combined ingenuity of human warriors and Zephyrian healers had created a defense that the Score couldn't overcome. As Thompson watched the remaining enemies being systematically demolished by her fleet, she thought about the significance of this day. Humanity had proven itself not just as warriors, but as protectors. The Zephyrians had shown that their peaceful technology could be adapted to defend that peace. Commander, Park called out, receiving transmission from High Chancellor Venn. The evacuation shelters are secure, and their medical teams are ready to assist any wounded. Thompson nodded, allowing herself a small smile. Tell them thank you, but our casualties are minimal. Their healing matrices performed beyond expectations. She paused, watching another Score ship flee into hyperspace. Though I suspect the real healing work will begin once we've finished showing the Score the cost of threatening our allies. The stars themselves seemed to bear witness as humanity demonstrated its commitment to protecting those who chose peace, while the Zephyrians learned that sometimes the best healers needed warriors to ensure their work could continue. Victory celebrations in Zephyria's crystal cities were cut short by an alarming discovery. Within the Central Archives, Defense Coordinator Talia's bioluminescence flared with sudden panic as she analyzed the data streams. The Score hadn't just been planning an invasion, they'd already infiltrated the planet's core systems. The energy signatures are clear, she explained to the gathered human and Zephyrian leadership. Her luminescent form pulsed with anxiety as she displayed the evidence. Cybernetically enhanced Score agents have been hiding within our maintenance tunnels, masked by sophisticated cloaking technology. Commander Thompson studied the holographic map showing the suspected infiltration points. They must have slipped in during routine trade missions. Classic tactic: get inside the target's defenses before the main assault. High Chancellor Ven's glow dimmed considerably. Our scanners, they were designed to detect illness and injury, not hidden invaders. We never imagined. You couldn't have known, Thompson assured him. The Score have spent centuries perfecting their infiltration techniques. But now we have a bigger problem: they're likely aware their main fleet has been defeated. Which means they have nothing left to lose, Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez finished grimly. They'll try to do as much damage as possible before we can root them out. The analysis proved correct. Within hours, explosions rocked several of Zephyria's major healing centers. Power grids fluctuated as Score saboteurs attacked critical infrastructure. The planet's automated defense systems, originally designed to regulate weather and deflect space debris, began malfunctioning. Thompson quickly organized the response. Human Marines, equipped with Zephyrian healing matrices and enhanced sensor gear, deployed into the crystalline underground network. They were joined by a specially trained group of Zephyrians, medical security staff who had previously only dealt with quarantine breakers and the occasionally violent patient. Sergeant Renata Winters led her squad through the shimmering tunnels beneath Zephyria's capital city, her armor sensors adapted to detect the unique energy signatures of Score cybernetics. Beside her moved Dr. Lumen, a Zephyrian trauma specialist whose natural ability to sense life energy had been enhanced by human scanning technology. Movement ahead, Winters whispered, raising her hand to halt the squad. Dr. Lumen? The Zephyrian's glow shifted to a focused purple hue. 3 entities, their energy patterns are wrong. Mechanical and organic combined, but damaged. They're in pain. Winters had fought cybernetically enhanced enemies before, but the Score were different. They didn't just add machines to their bodies, they merged with them, often resulting in mental instability and constant physical agony. It made them incredibly dangerous. The firefight, when it came, was brutal and swift. Score infiltrators burst from hidden panels in the crystal walls, their cybernetic weapons already firing. But they hadn't counted on the humans' new advantages. Winters took a direct hit that should have been fatal, but the Zephyrian healing matrix in her armor kept her fighting. Her Marines responded with precise shots, their accuracy enhanced by neural interfaces that Dr. Lumen's team had adapted from medical scanning technology. They're trying to reach the central power distribution node, Dr. Lumen called out, his glow pulsing with each nearby explosion. If they overload it, they'll take out half the city, Winters finished. Not happening. Jenkins, Martinez, left flank. Doctor, can you use your healing energy as a weapon? Lumen's glow flickered with surprise. We never. Their cybernetics are causing them pain, Winters explained, firing another burst at a Score trying to flank them. Can you amplify that? Make their own enhancements work against them? The concept of using healing energy to cause harm clearly disturbed the Zephyrian, but he understood the stakes. Focusing his natural abilities through the modified human scanner, Lumen projected a wave of energy that interacted with the Score's cybernetics. The effect was immediate. The infiltrators screamed as their mechanical components overloaded, their already unstable integration with organic tissue becoming unbearable. It gave Winters' team the opening they needed. Central Command, this is Winters, she reported minutes later, standing over the defeated Score agents. Sector 7 cleared. Dr. Lumen's technique was effective, recommend implementing it with other teams. Similar scenes played out across the planet as humans and Zephyrians worked together to eliminate the hidden threat. The Zephyrians' intimate knowledge of their world's architecture combined with human combat experience proved decisive. Within 48 hours, the last Score infiltrators had been captured or eliminated. In the aftermath, as human engineers helped repair damaged infrastructure, an important conversation took place in the High Council chamber. "We cannot return to our previous state of vulnerability," Chancellor Venn declared, his glow steady and resolved. "Commander Thompson, we would like to formally request human assistance in developing a defensive program that aligns with our peaceful principles." Thompson nodded. "We'd be honored, Chancellor. Our best minds are already working on adapting your medical sensors for security purposes. And perhaps your healers could help us develop better ways to subdue enemies without killing them." Such cooperation, Dr. Lumen added, having joined the council session, would benefit both our peoples. "We need not abandon our dedication to healing to protect ourselves." As the discussions continued, Sergeant Winters stood guard outside with her mixed human-Zephyrian security team. She watched her Zephyrian counterparts practicing with modified medical scanners, learning to detect threats while remaining true to their healing nature. It was, she reflected, a perfect example of how different species could complement each other's strengths. The score had failed to understand this. They saw the Zephyrians' peaceful nature as weakness, never imagining that this same nature, combined with human military expertise, would lead to their defeat. As the last light of Zephyria's sun filtered through the crystal spires, it illuminated a world forever changed, but changed on its own terms. 1 year after the Score invasion, Zephyria Prime had changed in subtle but significant ways. The crystal spires still reached toward the violet sky, but now they housed both healing centers and defense monitoring stations. In the newly established Joint Academy, human combat instructors taught alongside Zephyrian medical experts, creating a new generation of peacekeepers who could both heal and protect. Commander Thompson, now promoted to Admiral for her role in defending Zephyria, stood beside High Chancellor Venn in the observation dome of the new orbital defense station. The massive facility, built with human military technology but powered by Zephyrian crystals, symbolized the unprecedented cooperation between their species. "The latest reports from the Galactic Rim are encouraging," Thompson said, watching a group of human and Zephyrian ships conducting joint patrol exercises. 3 more systems have requested to join our mutual defense agreement." Venn's bioluminescence rippled with satisfaction. "The galaxy is changing, Admiral. Other peaceful races are realizing they need not choose between healing and defending. They can do both, with the right allies." Below them, Zephyria's capital city bustled with activity. Human engineers worked alongside Zephyrian architects, integrating defensive systems into the crystalline structures without compromising their beautiful designs. Medical researchers from both species collaborated in vast laboratories, combining human resilience with Zephyrian healing techniques to create revolutionary treatments. Director Helios's latest project shows particular promise, Venn continued, gesturing to a holographic display of medical data. "By studying how human bodies naturally heal from injuries, we've developed treatments that can help other species recover from wounds that were once fatal." Thompson nodded, remembering the battles that had led to these discoveries. "And our ships have never been more effective, thanks to your crystal technology. The healing matrices have reduced combat casualties by 80%. In the training grounds outside the city, Sergeant Winters, now Captain Winters, watched her mixed unit of human and Zephyrian security forces practice their unique combination of skills. Zephyrians, once reluctant to even consider combat, now expertly wielded defensive technologies based on their healing abilities. Humans, traditionally focused on offensive capabilities, learned to incorporate protective and non-lethal techniques into their tactics. Dr. Lumen, who had pioneered the use of healing energy for defense, approached the training field. His glow had strengthened over the past year, no longer flickering with uncertainty when discussing military matters. "The latest group of cadets is exceeding expectations," he reported. "They're learning to balance aggression with compassion, strength with wisdom. Even the Score prisoners we rehabilitated have shown remarkable progress." This had been perhaps their greatest victory, proving that even their enemies could be transformed. The captured Score infiltrators, their cybernetic enhancements carefully removed and their bodies healed by Zephyrian medicine, had provided valuable insights into their empire's weaknesses. Many had chosen to stay on Zephyria, helping to protect the very civilization they had once tried to destroy. In orbit, Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, now commanding his own ship, monitored the new defense grid. The network of crystals that had once only channeled healing energy now formed an impenetrable shield around the planet, capable of redirecting any attack back at an aggressor. But more importantly, it broadcast a message to the galaxy: here was a world where strength and compassion worked in harmony. Admiral, a young Zephyrian communications officer, called out, her glow bright with excitement, "We're receiving a transmission from the Score border regions. 3 more of their worlds are requesting asylum. They want to know if our healing centers can help remove their cybernetic enhancements." Thompson shared a meaningful look with Chancellor Venn. The Score Empire, once a terror of the galaxy, was crumbling not through force of arms but through the realization that there were better ways to live. The combination of human protection and Zephyrian healing offered their warrior culture a path to peace that didn't require submission or weakness. "Sometimes," Venn observed, his glow pulsing with deep satisfaction, "the greatest victories come not from defeating an enemy, but from transforming them into friends." "That's what Earth learned long ago," Thompson replied. "Strength isn't just about the ability to fight. It's about the wisdom to know when not to fight, and the courage to protect others." As Zephyria's sun set, casting rainbow refractions through the crystal cities, human ships patrolled alongside Zephyrian vessels. In the medical centers, doctors of both species worked to heal patients from across the galaxy. And in the Joint Academy, a new generation learned that peace was not the absence of strength, but its highest expression. The legend of how Deathworlders came to protect healers spread throughout the galaxy, inspiring other civilizations to seek similar partnerships. But on Zephyria Prime, humans and Zephyrians simply went about their daily work, knowing they had created something unprecedented, a world where the power to heal and the power to protect had become one and the same.